Good evening. Welcome to episode 3 of Classic Touring Car Racing Club TV. Don't forget, keep the comments coming, keep the questions coming, and you know we've got safe hands to keep us in. Well, for the first bit of the show, we got less safe as the show went on. It's the big dog, Stuart Caie. Hello, mate.
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah. I loved how someone made a comment saying you struggled to answer the questions as the show went on last time.
We did, yeah. I think someone was at Brands Hatch said to me, "You had wind, didn't you? You had a lot of cider." I was sitting there going, so I won't be woofing it down as much this time.
Your Honour. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. And cheers to everybody that's watching. Like I say, keep the comments coming in. It's a whole load of things. We're going to have a review of Brands Hatch very quickly. We're going to have a preview of Retro Rides at Goodwood that some of you are lucky enough to be going to this weekend. And a pre-preview, which I am informed does exist, of the Castle Combe and the Superpower Touring events over the next couple of months. We'll do shows to preview them properly, but you just want to talk a little bit about them, don't you, mate?
Yeah, they're two great, big, decent events coming up. Although it's wonderful, you and I sitting here rattling on talking about retro rides, but people want to go racing. So yeah, we'll be covering that a little bit later on.
No, absolutely right. Greetings to Chris Savage. Hello, mate. He was enjoying his mate getting his first podiums at the weekend at Snetterton that I was commentating on. James Ibbetson's put a like in. Good evening to you guys. Welcome.
Good evening, guys.
Now, I'm gonna do it straight away. I hope that she's all right with this because we're going to have an extra guest on this one, and I suddenly thought actually it's unfair because she sat in the back. She comes across as so confident, Stuart, but she's nervous. But you can relate to that from 2 episodes ago, can't you?
Yes, it's horrific.
Did you tell her that it's not anymore though?
I did. I rung her a moment ago and said, "Don't worry about it. It's not as bad as you think it will be."
Exactly right. Good evening, David Lutt, Patrick DeBolla. Great to see the lights coming in. But let's bring in, she is your club secretary and she's the Carmen influencer. My experience was at the awards and she really was. Just made sure that everything got done. It's Sonia. Good evening, Sonia. Oh, you're on mute at the moment, though.
Oh, it's on mute.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. I thought it was unfair to leave you back there for too long.
I was quite happy back there.
I know, but we're going to bring you on and welcome to the show. You watched the shows though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've watched them all.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that one. Before we go on to all the stuff, we've had the big dog here for 3 episodes now, but tell us, Sonia, what do you do? Tell me, because I've not experienced it.
What do I do? Keep Stuart and Colin under control.
Good grief. That deserves another glug.
So I started off in 2013. Well, what happened was in 2012, Colin said, "I'm taking you away for the weekend." And we went to Mallory. He goes, "We're going to watch Andy Mesham race." Oh, yeah, all right, that'd make a nice change. So we went and stayed overnight and watched him race. And then he said, "Did you like it?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Good, because I brought a race car." Oh. Okay. And he'd brought this scrapper off the back of a lorry, and it was an Alfa Romeo. And the scrap man came round to him to pick up a car, and he went, "What are you doing with that car?" Anyway, so he took it back off the lorry, which Colin does quite a lot. And he converted it into a race car because that's when the 205 was just being introduced. It was going to start in 2013. So in 2013, Colin started racing. And in September of 2013, they said, "We're struggling. We need some help with the club." So I said, "Well, I'm happy to help." And I started off just sending out the stickers. It was lovely. Yeah. No hassle. Just send out the stickers.
Calm before the storm.
Yeah. 2014, they said, "You're doing such a cracking job. Can you do the membership as well?" And that's where it all started.
They just suckered you in completely.
Yeah. 2015, Bark got hold of my telephone number. So they were phoning me up at every race meeting saying, "Can you go and get this driver? Can you go and get that driver?" I don't know if it was because I was taking the drivers up there and calming them before they went in, but that's how it all happened. And then the next thing I know, I'm handing out trophies. I'm doing the club barbecue. It just went from there. And then 2000 and what am I? We're 23, so 2021. Work decided they was going to put me through an apprenticeship to do my degree for social work, and I managed it for a little while doing everything, and then I just sort of like had a major breakdown, said to Stuart, I can't do this no more, I need help. So he took the membership away from me, the stickers away from me, and said, can you just help us at race meetings, which I do. I absolutely love it. It's just agree, and then sort of like those weekends just take me away from everything. The guys in paddock and Parc Ferme are just lovely. It gives me my time to relax, and I couldn't be without the club for it. So there, that's me.
No, and I get that, and you'll have heard Stuart and I talking about this. Is that the fact that it says club at the end is so important. It's not just classic touring car racing championship; it is that club element, and you guys
It's just got
definitely have that
better.
feeling. Yeah, and I felt that when obviously I was lucky enough to be with you guys for the awards, and I mean it was the numbers you had there for one. Secondly, the spirit was just amazing. You saw that I like to have fun. I like to play with the crowd. Well, they respond, don't they? They are brilliant.
We are so fortunate with our members. We are really fortunate with our members.
And I think that it probably breeds itself, Stuart, wouldn't you? In the fact that once you've got that kind of spirit there and people get wind that that's the way the club is, the people are, that it then encourages even more in.
Yeah, and I think it's a comfort as well, isn't it? To be people are comfortable around friends and relaxed and acting themselves, and we try and push that as much as we can, really. Especially as Sonia was saying, at the dinner dance, you saw what it's like. Everybody just gets on with it. Everybody has a good time, and no one can remember what happened. So yeah, it's great.
No, apparently I carried on drinking till 4 o'clock in the morning or something.
I know what you did. Yeah.
Yeah. And then phone the wife at 2 or something.
I know exactly. Yes, to say, phone your wife and tell her how much you love her at 2 in the morning.
Yeah. It doesn't get received as well apparently at that time of day.
I was surprised at that. I was surprised.
Come on, it still meant it from the bottom of my heart. What's wrong with it? No, I completely get it. The club. Well, Sonia, I know from the comments that Stuart says is that it's important stuff that you do. You're vital to the club, and that was largely how he introduced you to me at the awards and explained who you were. So nice to see, and it's nice to see that you love it, and thank you on behalf of them for all your hard work. Going through the different things that we're going to cover tonight then, Brands Hatch. Let's take it first of all, Sonia, from your perspective. That sounded like a busy but an enjoyable weekend.
It was a manic weekend. It was brilliant, but it was manic. There
Really?
was sort of Brands Hatch, as lovely as it is for spectators, as an organizer, it's a nightmare because you've got the inner and outer paddock, so you're constantly running between the two of them. And because we had Brick Car there, when they go into a paddock, we have 15-minute race, and their 15 minutes is not long enough for them in Parc Ferme because they do literally close Parc Ferme off. You're not allowed in there. It's a proper sterile area. So I knew my guys were going to come in there. Bark wanted our guys to come in there, but because the inspections and everything they do before they release their drivers, our guys couldn't get in there. So I'm in the inner paddock, and our guys have been sent through to the outer paddock because it was just, thankfully, that weekend, because it's local, I had my car there. So I was able to jump in my car and shoot straight over to the outer Parc Ferme. But apart from that, it was brilliant. It was such a brilliant atmosphere. The paddock atmosphere was one of the most relaxed atmospheres I've been in since I've been in the club.
Wow, that's
We
interesting.
had a hog
Yeah.
roast, and it went down a treat. He was there from 12 o'clock actually cooking the pig.
Wow.
It was so relaxed. There was no issues within the paddock at all. The only issues was sort of like trying to get in and out of the
Yeah.
inner paddock to the outer paddock. So no, it was a great weekend, and I'm so proud of all our members. They've been brilliant.
And that's really cool, Stuart, because I know when we did episode 2, you were building that up. We were making a big thing about the hog roast and really trying to get back to pre-pandemic spirit, I guess, really was the aim. And it sounds like it happened.
Absolutely. You know, it was. I was talking to Colin about this the other day. It was probably the smoothest meeting we've ever done.
Yeah, I think so too. And the hog roast queue just never ever went.
I know. I
Really?
gave up. I gave up when it got the chips. But yeah, you know, it was. I think it helped massively. You know, Claire's guys with Brick Cart were all in the middle.
Yeah.
We had the whole place to ourselves, so there was none of this being packed in like sardines and all this business. You had as much room as you wanted, really. And it was nice. It was all the people you bumped into were CTCRC people. You can have a chat. You know, it was just really. I said to Sonia at the end of it, I think it was I was leaving on the Sunday. I said I needed that. You know, to get back to that real club ethos that's been missing the last couple of years with the COVID, with all the other nonsense that goes on with the restrictions. I came back buzzing that on that Sunday night. I was like, I'm this is why I do this job.
I was the same.
Well, let me make something, and it is a degree of an announcement because you didn't know the answer for definite, Stuart, either to this, but I know you brought it up as a question. I've managed to get it confirmed that at Castle Combe, yes, the bar and cafe will be open in the evenings.
You're the man.
That's all been agreed. That is happening.
Excellent.
The bar will still open. I'm not sure whether it's to the same level that we had last time where there was a band there or anything. I'm not sure whether, you know, our team have set anything up like that, but at least the bar, which, if you know, has also got the hatch on the outside.
Outside, yeah.
I'm not going to miss that this time, because last time at Castle Combe, I spent the whole night on my scooter taking kids on rides around the paddock area, backwards and forwards, missing out on the beer runs that Stuart was doing in his bare feet, because once the race meeting's finished, Stuart takes his shoes off. I don't know how he does it, but he walks about during the night without anything on his feet. So I'm not missing that this time. I'm gonna be there.
I like to be natural, Chris. You know, that's just how it is.
I'm glad that we're only talking shoes for now, but
You'd be surprised I walk about in this house, I tell you. But yeah,
no, I wouldn't. I genuinely wouldn't, mate. And now I'm nervous about calling you the big dog when we're talking about you walking around naturally. So
that's why I never corrected you.
It feels out of context now. I'm not liking it. I feel uncomfortable. Just a quick
Sorry,
comment.
Stuart.
A quick comment that's come up from one of our guys, a guy that is a lovely, lovely guy, and is one of the Combe family, says, try to enter Boss at Combe in June, but it's telling me championship registration hasn't been approved.
Yeah, hang on a minute, Nick, and I'll send an email now whilst Chris is talking and get it sorted out for you.
You see, perfect. That's what this TV show is partly about. Hang on, let's just see. We got this. Yvette's Nedlaw says, evening, Chris, Sonia, and Big Dog. From Steve Walden. Wish I was able to come out with you this weekend. Gutted. By the way, my son Scott has passed his odds at Brands Hatch this afternoon, so now we're double trouble.
Yes, I saw that. Congratulations.
Well done.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family. That's the man.
You get that Combe entry in.
Absolutely, yeah. What a way to make your debut, mate. That would be amazing. Nick Mizzen's just put his thumbs up, so thank you for.
No worries, Nick. I'll take care of it now for you, mate.
That's wicked. That's a lovely guy. One that has had. He sort of semi-retired from racing, but lost his wife and things like that. And he loved coming back to us, and it was like a lovely thing that he gets out and races every now and again. And our Nick Mizzen being out on track will be wicked, and it being Boss, because I'm pretty sure it'll be in his Ford Fiesta. So
yes, it will be. Yeah, I think he's registered for Boss, or certainly rings a bell. So yeah,
fabulous.
I've just sent an email to Bart now, so hopefully that'll be sorted first thing in the morning.
Fabulous. You're a star. Thanks again for the likes still coming in. Andy Mesham, Adam Moore, Andy Abrams, Kevin Swan, Tim Moran, Tom Davies, all of you, thank you for the love. We appreciate that. Keep the comments and questions coming in if you have any. Right, so in terms of Combe, the one thing I think, did I hear something though that there was a very unfortunate fire that damaged the track or something?
Yeah, so there was, thank God, Joe Collier actually, who's okay. I went to see him after the incident. He's I think it was something underneath the car snapped and cut through the fuel line, which then sprayed fuel all over everything, and set fire to, I think the car was on fire inside as well, because I went to see him afterwards. Sorry, and the bottom of his suit did its job, but it was charred. To be perfectly honest, it was quite frightening. He was standing there chatting, and he was fine, but he had gone through a layer or two of his suit on the way out through that window, and he was literally in the car for what you could probably count in the amount of seconds. And he got out through the window. The actual reason they didn't damage the tarmac, I thought they'd burnt the tarmac at one point. So I was talking to Dave Whedon from Bark when it was all going on, who was there as well. And the actual problem and the delay for everything was to put the fire out. Brands Hatch basically used up nearly all of their fire extinguishers.
That's right.
So
yeah.
they had to go and refill all their fire. So they were handing these fire extinguishers over the top of the
whole of the paddock.
Yeah, the
fire
whole
extinguishers were handed over.
Yeah.
The brick car guys were brilliant. I mean, they all run to the rescue. They were all sort of like handing over their fire extinguishers from their garage.
Wow.
It just didn't want to go out. It just
insane.
It just wouldn't go out. They brought two of the big ones on the back of the lorry, and they were just fighting it constantly. So he's a lucky man to have got out the way he did.
Well, as Craig Owen says there, I was handing fire extinguishers to the guys on the pit wall, and you know, it does sound like one of those to the rescue. It reminds me of when was it? A couple of years ago, I was at Snetterton, and I think it was like a British GT event or something like that, and one of the guys, his awning went up in the paddock, and we were up in the commentary box looking back, and his car went up in smoke. I won't sort of like say his name again because he's had to go through all sorts as a result of all of this. Well, it was Alistair Rushforth, because he was so appreciative of everybody that came to help him. But suddenly everybody was appearing from everywhere with fire extinguishers in the paddock to get this thing out.
Yeah.
And it was all so busy in the paddock that it was jammed, and there was like Pirelli trucks right next to this thing, and everything was like going, oh my God, it was what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And everything was used around the circuit before even the fire engines got there to try and put it out as well. And we had to then wait to see whether we could go racing again. But it was to see everybody pull together. Then suddenly Ali's car were given space in someone else's awnings and parts that were needed, and this and that and the other. And it just shows that motor racing really is this wonderful family.
Yeah, that showed it as well, because even though we're not part of Brick Car were there helping us.
Absolutely.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, and who did you say that was? Sorry,
Joe Collier.
In what event championship
Space
was that?
Frame
Thunder.
Okay. In the 206. Yeah.
I was a Tigra.
Oh, was it? Oh, he was entered down as a 206.
Oh, was it 206? Was it?
Joe's 206 is.
Oh, sorry. Oh, right. Oh, okay. I thought they had the same one.
Yeah. Well, glad to hear, Joe, that you went, that you're okay, and hopefully we'll see you out again very soon. And well done to everybody that helped out. So that was, trauma to say the least. Jaguars, Colin Philpott got a double victory. Different second places. Tom Lenthal got a second and a third. Andrew Harper got second in the second race. You had a couple of disqualifications in that first Jaguar race.
There was a few cars that were a little bit underweight.
Right, you're strict, aren't you? You lot.
It's Mr. Gibbons.
Yeah,
but we are strict. We are strict because it's not fair on the people that comply with the rules that other people should be allowed to get away with it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the rules are there that they can't be argued with at the end of the day.
No.
Incidentally, by the way, Steve Walden has said that entries are in for Combe as well as Super Touring, and I'm assuming that's for Scott
Grand.
Walden as well. So there we go.
Brilliant.
That'll be good.
But yeah, we I've got my train of thought there. Sorry, forgive me.
Well, don't, because we were hanging on every word then, mate.
I know. Sorry, I was just going to have like a big announcement. Sorry.
I love the way that you still bigged it up, even you had no idea where you were going, but you made it sound so intriguing.
It was
You're going to suddenly think of it later tonight.
I am, yeah.
Pre-83s, Mike Chorlton got a victory in the first one.
Yes.
You got a DNF, and did I read something about you nearly scared the bejesus out of yourself?
I did indeed, yeah. I had a bit of brake failure.
Wow.
I came into the pit. I came down to Graham Hill, went up on the grass, and the pedal hit the floor. And I pulled into the pits, and there's Colin and Josh standing there waving me into the garage, and I'm waving at them because I can't stop. And I've just rolled past them.
Oh my God!
Rolled past them, and luckily Part Ferme was out in the outer paddock, so I just sort of rolled all the way out there, trying to get the pedal back whilst the brakes are cooling down. So yeah, it was. And in the second race, the conditions on Sunday were just horrific, and it was raining. It was biblical, and I just wanted to get the car home in one piece, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, that was the weekend that British Touring Cars was up. Was that the same weekend as Touring Cars at Donington, or not? Is that a different weekend?
I'm not sure. I think it might have been.
I'm just trying to remember, because I know I was sat out in horrible weather with my dad for the first time on a spectator bank.
Yeah,
for
you
a dozen
did, didn't
years.
you? You went up to
and it was cold and it was wet, and I'm like, oh yeah, it is better in the commentary
Sunday
box,
was horrendous.
Sunday made you question why you go racing.
Oh,
You're standing there waiting for your go. But yeah, it was difficult, and I think the people that were up the front really deserved to be there, because they were a lot braver than me, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, on that particular race, Stephen Primmett, not unusual to see him up there with his Mark 1. Where was he on the... Oh, he had a DNF on the Saturday.
DNF on Saturday, yeah.
Oh, wow. Right
that
from the start.
83 race was more tense in Parc Ferme than it was actually. The race was brilliant. It was a fantastic race, but Parc Ferme was so tense.
Why?
Because they were all weighed.
Oh,
and
okay.
So it was just everyone was standing there going, I don't know what's more tense, watching them racing in that rain or waiting here for them to be sort of like awarded their awards. It was brilliant. It was fantastic, though. I mean, bless them, the poor drivers.
They knew they were right on Sunday with the weight thing, because you'd fed them the hog roast on the Saturday night.
Yeah.
So they were fine. They need that on a Friday night now.
Yeah.
Andy Mesham says nothing wrong with the weather on Sunday, was just the job.
Yeah, all right, Andy.
It's because you're a nut job.
He was in a car.
Yeah. Still, the likes are coming in. Suzanne Marie Roberts, H. Harvey, Stephen Monster Dog, Dowell. Monster Dog, he's still trying to outdo you there, mate.
Is that what it is? I saw that. He's the guy that used to race, but now he's building his car, and he's forgot that we've already started racing.
Oh, right. Okay. He'll be out soon. He'll be out. Hopefully get to Combe then, if you're still building your car. Get it sorted.
No,
yes, so I mean, it was looked great. We had another Thomas Harvey disqualified on the Saturday, but he was able to come third on the Sunday, so he sorted out whatever the issue was there. He
started at the back with a 10-second penalty as well.
Wow.
So everybody went off, and he still had a 10-second penalty. So then when they came in, that's why it made it so tense.
All right, I was in that race. Come on. Like, you know.
Yeah, and
I was seventh.
He passed you.
He did pass me absolutely sideways, facing the pit wall, and carried on. And I thought, oh God, what it is to be young. Anyway.
Just seeing Don Hughes had a double DNF. Is that like the guy that's like the tallest racing driver ever? I'm sure he's like a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Used to race a Peugeot all the time, didn't he?
He's out in his Golf.
Yeah, I saw that. Sadly, that didn't seem to go to plan. Classic and Historic Thunder. I mean, what a sight they must have been, because I know that they were really excited about having the grid to themselves. And I mean, even in terms of finishing, 24, 21 finishing both those races, what an epic sight and sound that must have been.
It was crazy, wasn't it? The amount
It's
of cars
mad.
that were out there. It's the biggest Thunder group we've ever run. And as I was saying earlier, you know, it was probably one of the best events we've ever done. It just went
until
to
next
plan.
month, of course.
Even that till Castle Combe, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love Castle Combe to be as good as Brands Hatch, because if
Yeah.
this is Brands Hatch marks our season of how it's going to go, I just can't wait.
Well, the good one is we just had the message come in from Stephen Monster Dog Dow says, I'm a forgetful chap. Now you've said the bar's open at Combe, though, I'll hurry and finish the car.
Excellent news. Excellent.
That's what we want to hear.
The bar is always open at Combe.
Exactly. And Suzanne Marie Roberts says, hi, I'm still following you on my favourite championship throughout. That's what we like to hear, Suzanne.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Hopefully we'll see you at some of the circuits then. But in terms of the classic and historic Thunder Saloons, Brian Bransom won both races. I just commentated on him winning another one at Snetterton on the weekend as well.
Saw that.
In a very powerful
That's
orange
his.
BMW.
That's his circuit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
It's his
you're
local
right.
track, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a local track.
I mean, I lose track. Him and Jazz Sapper, I seem to be commentating on them somewhere every weekend. They're just, I always make the joke that those two would be racing snails if that's all they could jump on the back of. They just literally would. Tim Morant says Mike Seaborn started Sunday last plus 10 seconds in the Jags and got up to third. So that was another one.
He did as
He
well.
did, yeah. About that.
Well done, Tim.
Sorry, Mike.
Actually, that's the one thing. That was my big moment I was going to talk about a moment ago. Because the Jag race was awesome. So we were out afterwards. So we were in the collection area. And it was scary for me. God knows what it was like for them out in them Jags. Wowzers. I think they're all doing little pirouettes.
I don't know how they do it.
It was
I
amazing.
really don't know how they do it.
Crazy. It was crazy to watch, but great to watch.
And in fairness, I think that we need to use the word wowzers more often.
Wowzers needs to be brought back.
I think so. And that sounded like it was a moment just for it. Tim says it was wonderful. So absolutely well done. Tom Davis.
They came in, sorry about this interrupting, but they came in on that second race on the Sunday with so much grass on their cars where they'd been cut in the grass. But there was no damage on their cars. They were brilliant. They were good lads. They came in, but I've never seen so much grass on cars, especially their front splitters and everything, and up down the sides. It was mad.
Especially as there's not that many places around the Indy circuit that you can get
grass.
That's impressive. That really is. Hence, Tim's given it the big the biceps.
Thumbs up.
But Tim Davies, who's one of the Mighty Orange Army, says, just want to say hats off to all the drivers for getting to assembly in plenty of time and sorting themselves out with just two of us working. The classic and historic Thunder was a favourite with all those cars. Bring on Combe.
Bring on a mighty Combe. It'd be brilliant.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tom, for doing your job.
Yes, indeed. It goes without saying. Sam Wilson actually came second. Did he do it in both the races? In that incredible Aston Martin that I see sprouted a rear wing on the back as well now, hasn't it? I'm sure it didn't used to have that.
It's Ricky Kane's car.
Yeah.
That they share. He did have a rear wing, but it did disappear to add more and more spoilers every time I see it.
It does. Well, because obviously, as you say, it's Ricky Kane's car and a mixture of Sam Wilson, who I used to commentate when he won the Caterham Championship with the Caterham Brands.
Yeah.
And incredibly talented young driver, and I think he coaches him a little bit as well as helping with the development of the car. And I remember him always saying the power is phenomenal in that thing, but it just handled like a dog, and they've just gradually been improving it. But as I'm sure certainly you, Stuart, will know, is that you're always chasing. You improve something, but it means that something else is wrong.
Yeah, you're always trying to make these cars do what they weren't designed to do, and so something gets improved and it just breaks the next weakest point.
Yeah. And they've clearly been doing that, but he looks to have done a blooming good job on that one. Malcolm Harding, good to see the Zach Speed Mark II Escort third, but it was Nick Vaughan in the Audi A3 that came third on the Sunday. Abby Eaton out in the that's her dad's Holden Commodore, isn't it?
I should say that was probably for me the drive of the weekend. I was sitting there watching her. She was absolutely unbelievable in the wet. It's incredible how she managed to drag that Holden round and just driving rings around people, round the outside of paddock and it was torrential rain.
And I think I'm sure I saw it for that it's reawakened her passion again, because I saw her sort of bare her soul a little bit and say that she'd started to question racing and it be doing stuff.
She'd
And,
had a horrific accident, hadn't
oh,
she?
absolutely. That was over in America, wasn't it? Circuit of the
Yeah.
Americas, over the sausage, one of
Yeah,
those sausage
I
curves.
couldn't believe that she was actually back out in a race car when she first come out in her dad's Holden, and then to do what she's doing now. No,
Oh, it is amazing to see.
girl
And
power.
absolutely, and it's an amazing car to see back out there
It
again
is,
as well.
yeah.
So,
and they're going to be back at Brands in the summer. I don't know if they're coming to Combe, but they're definitely coming to Brands in the summer because I was talking to her dad in a week about it. So they're going to share the car again.
okay, well, fingers crossed, Abby. We want to see you at
Oh,
Combe as well.
she's racing at Spa on the Saturday and then flying home on the Saturday night to race at Brands on the Sunday with her dad.
Oh wow! So
At the
Dad will be
Super
doing it
Touring
on
event.
Saturday.
Yeah, but in
okay.
Thunder.
Fantastic. Pre-9303 and Blue Oval Saloons in the pre-93. Stuart Caie, what a great victory for him. He knows how to pilot the BM, but he doesn't race as much as I'd like to see him, to be honest with you. He got a third the next day. James Dunkley. We had two bosses, two Fiestas winning outright on the Sunday.
That's crazy, isn't it? It was Mr. Dunkley out winning in a Fiesta XR2.
Wow.
Won the whole thing.
I guess that was because of the weather, was it?
Because the weather. Yeah, he took the flag. He won Boss, not pre-93.
Yeah,
No, I know, but it's still. But Sunday he won outright as well.
He took the flag. Yeah, he took the whole flag. He took the flag. He won the race.
That is amazing. And Sam Daffin in second, then Stuart Caie in third. Pre-03, Ross Craig on the Sunday, the pre-03. Craig Owen, who I know is watching, he got his Cosworth second in the Boss S class, so that's good to see that Bluey done well there.
he got third, I think, both days, Mr.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, I think he did. He got very cheerful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, third overall in the Boss and second
Boss
in
and
Boss
third overall both days.
Yeah.
In his championships, so no. Well done, Mr. Owen.
Indeed, well done.
Got
Mr.
a spring
Owen.
back in his step.
Ross Craig done a double as well in the pre-03. So that's good. I know we had Southcott was disqualified in the first race. Did I see that he didn't have a cat on it, a catalytic converter on it? I think I saw.
Yeah, sadly, he didn't. His car didn't apply to the regulations. So,
but then that meant that he started at the back, and did he come through well? Yeah, he came up to win his class, 9th overall. But Gary Preble's still having a terrible time with his car by the looks of that.
Yeah, I saw on social media actually earlier that he's still having problems.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Craig says thank you. Well done, my friend.
Well done, mate.
I just adore that car, Bluey.
Lovely,
the first time I ever met AJ and Craig was at Alton Park many years ago. I was early in my commentary career, and they were up there to be doing racing Bluey, and there was suddenly a whole issue, and his sister drove all the way down to the southeast somewhere to get a part, and then back, and then sort it overnight and out on the circuit. And not only was I there in love with this Sierra Cosworth that was my poster car back when I was youngster, was that it was just this family sorting out this car and getting it back out on the track. And I've just always been friends with AJ ever since, in particular. So yeah, you didn't ask, but I told you anyway.
It was good, and very much.
I was with them as well in 2013. Every meeting, bless them, AJ had problems with his turbo, and I went and got Colin and said, "Can you have a look at this turbo for this poor boy?"
Well, he's just confirmed there. He's had Bluey since 1999. Blooming heck. There's a song there about 1999, but I can't remember it. Les Henny says, hi, Les Henny, 1988 Mod Saloon champion. Loving the show. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Paul Eaton says, thanks for the heads up. Won't be at Combe, but looking forward to Brands in July. Paul.
Yeah, there you go.
Gutted, but absolutely amazing job at Brands, and hopefully you can repeat the escapades at Brands as well. And it's just lovely to see the two of you out there racing again. Tom Davis says, "Was surprised not to see Dave Griffin out in his BMW. Always seems to be popping up in the pre-03s with that car."
He's a
Pre-93
pre-93
yeah.
gentleman and a Thunder gentleman.
Yeah, and I think I covered him at Thruxton, didn't I, the other week?
He
at
was at
Classic Sports
Thruxton,
Car
yeah.
Club.
He was at, I
saw
think he
that.
might have been at Snetterton or something as well, because he got a win, didn't he?
I don't think he was at Snet this
Wasn't
weekend.
he?
Just gone. I don't think he was he?
No, he was out at CSCC at Thruxton.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so definitely
Yeah.
he was there. I covered him over that one as well.
Yeah.
So that sums up Brands Hatch. Goodwood. I mean, this thing is intriguing, isn't it? It's a weird sort of show on that front, in the fact that it's not a race meet. It is a show, but I've been looking at some of the posts from Retro Rides. They're just as chuffed that you guys are there, and the cars are there, and the rides available in them are there. I mean, it just sounds like an incredible event.
Yeah, it really is. The guys invited us along last year. We weren't really sure what we were walking into, to be perfectly honest with you. And we turned up, and it was just, I come from, I got my driving license in '96, so I come from an era where we always used to lower our cars. People don't do it anymore, which is a shame. It's a shame. It is a shame that cars don't scrape on the floor anymore, but there we are.
You can't with the potholes these days,
I was
mate.
going to say potholes are speed ramps.
It's boring. It's boring. You get your car. The first thing you do is go home and get your angle grinder out and cut your springs. That's what you did. Before I'd even put a stereo in it. That was it. Didn't matter what it was. Cut
You thug, big dog.
And so it was nice. It's the best car show I've ever been to be honest. There's a lot of people around my. I mean, I'm 44 now. Around my sort of age, people were just chilled, showing their cars, having a barbecue, having some beers, chilling out with friends, with some music on. When we went in to do our demonstration, we went in and it was Alan that used to race in the pre-03 championship. He knew us all and just said, look, be respectful of each other. Don't race each other. Just put on a bit of a show. And that's what we did. And it was just such a nice weekend last year. I have to say, it was a lot hotter than this. But it was just cool. Just like a cool weekend. And thankfully, Mark, that I speak with from Retro Rides, invited us back for a second year. I understand that no other club has been invited back 2 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, just really great, and long may it continue, to be honest with you. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Some car racing, talking with friends, and some beers. What more do you want to do?
I mean, are you taking one of your motors out then?
Well, if Mr. Gibbons gets it going, we're going to take the Cavalier. So I'm going to drive my Super Tourer in front of everybody for the first time ever.
The first time.
Because
my word.
I've only sat in it once. And Colin is at the workshop now trying to get it all ready for me so that I can turn up and make myself look silly in front of everybody. So,
that's a cool one to do it in, mate.
I've never driven a Super Tourer, never driven a race car with slicks on it. What could go wrong?
Wow. That's super exciting. Just quickly, by the way, Ross Craig says, we had a great Brands. Well, looking forward to Combe. Great to see you back there, mate. See if you can keep your winning habit up. That would be amazing. So congratulations. I mean,
absolutely.
Thank you, the current Mrs. D.
I don't know how you get away with that. You must get a slap for that one afterwards.
Oh, I do. It was a joke done right early on the Combe TV, and I don't know where it was, and she slapped me, but she's just like giggling away at the same time. She's so used to me that she knows I don't mean it. So and I'm punching anyway, so it's fine. It's so how many cars have you got taken there with you? Do you know?
We've got 30 cars we're taking with us.
That's maximum, isn't it?
They said we'd bring 30 cars with you, so we did. And there's some lovely stuff coming out.
Was it by invite, or was it whoever applied first from your side?
Yeah, we sort of first come, first served, to be honest. And it did fill up very quickly. Sadly, a few people had to pull out. But it's some guys that were there last year. Barry Symes coming down from Scotland to be there. with his pre-66 Mini with his dad.
That's a beautiful car, though.
Yes.
You've got Simon Mann, who's driving up. I mean, lives down in Cornwall somewhere. He lives a long, far away land.
I think last year we sort of we were scared, weren't we? And
We didn't know what we
turned
were
up
walking
with
into, yeah.
16 cars, and sort of the people that turned up really enjoyed themselves. The evening was lovely. And then sort of it's just word of mouth. It goes around a paddock. It's just a nightmare. Things go around a paddock like you do not believe.
For better or for worse,
Yeah. And next thing we know is, oh, we're doing it. Hang on a minute. We can only take so many cars.
So
Well,
it's
we
just
had
been-
it, didn't we, Stu, since we were doing this show, is that straight away people going, oh, can we talk about retro rides? Can we talk about retro rides? They were just wanted to talk about it since episode 1 of these.
It's awesome. I you know, as Sonia just said, you know, we had no idea last year. We took, you know, Colin and I took 3 cars trying to fill it up because we were struggling to get people interested. And then all the social media, which is the most powerful tool by far to get people interested in the club. But you know, you've got Chad Donner's coming along. He's got his fastback Boss Mustang. You've got Steve Primmett who's come along. He's Mark 1 Escort. Tom Abbott is going to bring his Skoda RS along for me because I love that car.
Oh, it's beautiful, that car is.
I love that little thing. Dave Claxon with his Dolomite. Nigel Baker with that absolutely amazing Mark 1 Escort that I shared today on social media. Anton Martin with his Escort. Ibbotson with his Imp. You know, there's some just lovely cars, lovely people.
A nice mix by the sounds of that as well, then, really. Mix of cars. It's not just sort of one type of thing that's going.
No, it's everything. And you've got Tom Robinson as well. He's got the S-Type Jaguar that never was, which was the V8 touring car championship that Andy Rouse was trying to develop. It never happened. Well, he bought that car and has put an engine in. I'm not sure if it actually works, but it will be there. We're not entirely sure if he's got it. He was trying to get it, or he is trying to get it going for the Super Tourer Festival, and it has been for months. But that car will be sitting there, and he's going to bring a few Jags along as well. So it'd be nice. But a real mix of everybody and everything. Just some cool people sitting around, talking about cool things.
I love it. Steve Weldon says, be great to see the Cav.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I love Andy Mesham's comment as he says, Cavalier, that's Sonos territory.
Sonia's territory.
Sorry,
yes.
I
take the gin off of him. Someone take the gin off him.
No, I lived in Luton and I worked at Vauxhall on the production line. So, yeah, that's my territory because I'm a Vauxhall girl through and through, especially Cavaliers and early Vectras.
Fair enough. See, I misread that. I thought he was talking about you were going to have some bass tubes in the back or something like that as well.
No. I just know how cars are meant to sound and look for that era.
I like the sound of that. Monster Dog says X-Type.
There you go. See, that he will be as well. It will be awesome to see.
I like the sound. So, you guys heading off Friday or Saturday to that?
Friday. I'm going to go up there. Yeah.
I've booked a day's leave, so it better be Friday.
Me too, yeah. I know. I booked a bloody day's leave. So, yeah, we're going to go up there Friday, get all the cars set up, get everything set up, and chill out for a bit and walk around the show because the campsite itself, even the cars in the campsite are awesome.
Oh, that's just the best. So on a Saturday night, last year, me and my son, we just walked around the campsite with a couple of beers in our pocket and just looked so... During the day, all of these cars go into Goodwood, but because I'm with the Classic Touring Car Club, I'm with the Classic Touring Car Club. So I don't know what's going on out on the track and sort of what everybody's doing. So on a Saturday night, they all bring their cars back to their tents because they're all sleeping over in their tents and just walk around and just look at all of these amazing retro cars and explaining to my son, oh, I remember that. I did this, I did that. It's just an amazing experience. It's worth going for that alone.
because I know where you're saying you're taking 30 cars, but of course people can just pay to enter to go to this event as spectators, attendees of it as well.
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely. They
yeah.
can pay on the gate. Yeah, they can pay on the
There's
gate.
other clubs that go to it as well. We're not the only club that goes
Mm.
to it. So
Absolutely. No,
There's lots of other stuff. There's the VWs. There's some low riders. There's the drifters. Everybody's there.
is there any instructions that you need to make sure that people are aware of for the weekend?
They need to bring beer and petrol.
Just make
that's
sure
the
you drink the right
entrance.
thing. Make sure you drink the right thing, though, okay?
Yeah, that's the entrance. But we would love as many people to come along and support the club by coming through the gate, because it is an amazing day. I remember Malcolm Harding coming along last year and just turning up on a Sunday and walking around talking to us in the classic touring car area, and then just saying, "Oh my God, this is brilliant. I didn't know this existed." So yeah, come along.
I like the sound of it. So when you say, is it just all? Yes, it's overnight, but the Saturday, there's nothing on track on the Sunday, or is there then as well?
On the Sunday, they've got the auto solo. It's not from us on the Sunday, but we are invited along to go and do it. It's like, I don't know, 25 quid or something, whatever it is to enter it. You know what auto solo is? Round and round the cones, showing off, drifting
Proper
sideways.
drifting.
Yeah, and
Brilliant,
people are
that is.
taking ridiculous cars out there as well, which is quite funny to
I
try and
like
go
They
that.
had
around. It's
fans,
worth a
everything
watch.
last year, didn't they?
It's a chilled day after Big Saturday, so which is what you need.
Absolutely, big dog on the big Saturday. I got you. I got you. Okay, so that's your Goodwood Retro Rides, and you're happy that everybody knows what they need to know for now.
Yeah, all cars need to be there by 7 o'clock on a Friday night. The timetable was, your guess, is as good as mine. But they will be doing the grid walk on a Saturday, so we will finish before lunchtime and leave the cars on the grid so the public can walk around, take pictures, and the rest of that. And then we'll do another session in the afternoon. But they've sort of mixed it up a little bit this time. But I'm waiting for them to tell me the exact timetable, so it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, you'll know by the time you're supposed to be out there. That's fine. Okay, well, listen, everybody that's going to that, have a great time. And if you're not one of the cars, don't let that stop you. Get down there, go there, go, go, go. Retro Rides, and it's the Retro Rides Weekender 2023. That's the thing.
Sure is.
Yeah. They're on Facebook and everything else as well. So I've seen that. So that's this weekend, May 20 and 21st. Then June 10th and 11th is the 2-day meeting at Castle Combe. We've already talked about the fact that Stuart and I have badgered to make it that the bar will be open in the evenings. That seemed more important to you, Stuart, than even a
The
timetable.
racing.
Well, yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it. And I think we're looking good. We're well into the 30s, 40s, or whatever of entrance already. Get the entrance coming in. Seriously, guys, please do. I'll be in the main box. I'll be lead commentator for that weekend, so I can't wait to commentate on you guys at my home circuit. Just because circumstantially this year, it seems to be the only one that I'm actually able to cover you guys, because I'm pulled all over the country to wherever I get put, basically, apart from Combe is my home place, and that's where I'll be in the main box. So we'll be having a whale of a time on that. It's a bumper weekend. There's so much on that
Yeah,
weekend.
there's loads. It really isn't there? There's loads
There's
loads of racing.
Yeah, we got like Sports 2000s are there that have just supported the GT World Challenge at Brands. They've gone from GT World Challenge at Brands to even better. They're supporting the Classic Touring Car Racing Club.
Everyone's
My
got
son was
to find
scrutineering there at the weekend. He said the cars were amazing, and he can't remember ever needing earplugs.
They are mad. They are mad. I've covered that race meet multiple times, back to when it used to be Blancpain was the name of that before it was GT World Challenge. But circumstantially, I was not doing it this year, and I missed it. I must be honest, because they are, and there's loads of them. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
It's
what he
amazing.
said.
there's a lot
He
of motors
needed
out there.
earplugs in because, and I was saying, well, take yourself back to the 90s with Formula One cars, proper racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim Morant said Bar should be full of Jag racers.
Let's
Yeah, I'm
hope
sure it
so.
will. Knowing the Jag racers.
Reference to this weekend, Kevin Swan says we're looking forward to the weekend. Anglia's had an extra polish.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Good to see. It's good to see him both, Kevin and Jake, supporting the club,
Yeah.
taking cars up there or down there to Goodwood. So no, I thank you.
Nick Mizzen says 1400 Fiesta in Boss might struggle seeing the start lights.
You'll
You'll
be
do
right.
all right, mate. You'll do all right. You'll be,
He'll
and
love it.
you'll know the circuit well enough, mate, because you've raced there a million times. So that's absolutely fine. Yeah. So Castle Combe 10th or 11th. What that means, Stuart, we were discussing this earlier, is we're going to do episode 4 that week, which means that we'll do that Tuesday the 6th. We'll do the
That's
episode 4 of.
absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
Because I'll also end up doing another show on Thursday. I get through a lot of gin, don't I? Another Castle Combe TV show as well. So we'll get a double whammy preview of that one. So tune in on Tuesday the 6th as well, and it won't be a pre-preview. It'll actually be a preview. But
Yeah.
yeah, well, we've done. We're going to now preview the Brands Hatch Super Tourers, which sadly aren't coming to Combe. I'm so gutted they're not coming to Combe. One year, I hope we get the Super Tourers because the crowd will love that. But July 1st and 2nd, we've got Brands Hatch around the Indy, the Super Tourers. And I'm just loving the constant names of cars and drivers that are going to be at that event.
He's nuts.
Scary.
He's nuts. It is every daily. I'm like, yeah. I was just looking around the menu on the phone, and it's really grown and gathering momentum, and you need to get your entries in now because it's going to sell out. Now people are putting weekend memberships in and full memberships just to take part in that race.
I can believe it. I can believe it. I mean, I was speaking to Alan Menu the other day, and he was saying, "I can't believe it's going to be massive." I've been speaking to the big dog and all sorts. He couldn't believe it.
It is. It's really scary seeing those memberships coming in and sort of like the names and just looking and thinking, "Oh my god!"
It's
last night. Greg Richards joined the Classic Touring Car Club, Bathurst winner, and I was like, I got up, and because obviously they're where they are. I got up, saw my phone, I was like, no way. And yet he's a member of the Classic Touring Car Club, so he's welcome to the dinner dance whenever he wants to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that it's going to be. I'm gutted because I was asked to commentate on that weekend, but I was already booked. It's away on a family weekend that weekend, and so I couldn't do it. And I'm still
no excuse, Chris.
I know.
It's motorsport.
I might have just given the good lady some jokey abuse about that, but seriously scares the bejesus out of me. So I can't. I got no say. We're away for that one, and I'm gutted, and I probably didn't. I didn't really know what it was that was on at that weekend because, as I say, I just kind of get booked here, there, and everywhere. And then in hindsight, I went, "Oh my god, that's the meeting I should have done."
You'll have to watch it live.
No, I'll cry if I do that. I will cry. Okay, so people, so for the Combe race meeting, is it the full quota other than Super Tourers that are there?
Yep, everybody's there. 66, 83, 93, 03, Thunder, Boss, Jags.
I love it. And you'll even have the championship standings on the website by that race weekend as well, won't you?
Who knows? Stranger things happen.
I've been nagging him. To do it, and then you've then in turn been nagging others, haven't you? So we've been we've been cascading the roast in there somewhat, but it's absolutely fine. I've just seen that. Okay. John Creech says great entries and buying a couple of diecasts to get signed, especially by V8 supercar drivers. So that's the Brands Hatch one. So all of them are at Castle Combe. Get your entries in if you haven't, please. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's such a family. You'll have a big crowd there because there always is at Castle Combe. I've always been going there since I was 5, and it's always attracts a big crowd. So get yourself there. It'll be a great spirit. I can't wait to commentate on you guys there. July 1st and 2nd, Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. You've got your Super Tour. I mean, that speaks for itself, but we will preview that in the next show and then preview it the show after that, and we'll review it. But get your entries in. The spirit's back. The club's back. There's no COVID stopping people from getting together anymore. It is going to work. So I'm going to call that an end so that the bosses can actually go to the toilet now. I don't care. It's going to drag you down. That's going to do it.
You're coming down with me, son.
Listen, thank you, Sonia.
Thank you
first of all,
so much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it.
No, and it really has, and I'm so glad you did it, and I'm so glad that you've clearly enjoyed it. It's been great, and Big Dog, we know
Just
we
you,
have
Chris.
It has been an absolute treat. Genuinely, I thoroughly enjoy it. Just quickly, Craig Owen says, wasn't Saturday going to be on the GP circuit?
Saturday's GP, Sunday's Indy. So
Sorry.
yes, you are quite right, Craig.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I've just looked at the sheet and you're right. Yeah, I see it now. GP/Indy. So apologies for that one. Well done, people. Is the hog roast back at Castle Combe? I'd imagine.
No.
I was going to say that's probably a bit tricky, that, isn't it? It's geographically a bit harder, that one for you guys. But the cafe will be open. Get your Barbies going. Get your own Barbies and get everybody around there and put the Barbies in the line.
Definitely.
Whatever. Tim Moran, Andy Melsham says, thanks, good show. So thank you all for your comments. Have a fantastic time this weekend if you're going to Goodwood, and stay safe. If you're not showing your car, make sure you get along there, support the club. We'll be back in, I can't remember what that works out at now, 2-3 weeks, whatever. It's probably
about
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, that we'll be back on for episode 4, previewing Combe. Both of you, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
We will see you all again very soon. Have a good night.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.